Well, good morning, everyone. Thomas Montgomery. It's a beautiful Monday morning, July 11th, 2002. Excited to visit with each of you today. Our topic today is to share with you our new onboarding documents. We have one for our white label partners, which is the generic term meaning those that are helping small businesses build financial literacy, build a lender compliant loan package, and become credible enough for funding. And then secondly, we'll go through the onboarding for our 60-day credit sweep white label partners. So two different types of white label partners. Many of you are both, but the process is different. So we need to talk about each differently. Now, this is applicable if today's your first day and you signed up yesterday as a white label partner, welcome aboard. Let's go through the onboarding. But even if you have been around for months or years, this is a new concise one pager. And so if I make it smaller for a moment, everything that we're going to go through is on one page in both cases. Now, is there more you need to know? Of course, but we really we're needing a more succinct one page guide. And so that's what we have now. So let's start with what we call the Access to Capital white label partnership and dig into its contents. Anytime you have questions, comments, concerns, feel free to post it there as in the Q&A of Zoom. It's like a chat box. First off, I want to say this. I love working with white label partners. Now, we have just referral partners that are more just come and go. But our white label partners, it's a committed group. Those of you that became white label partners, you said, hey, I'm going to do this seriously. It's not going to be a dabble for me. It's going to be something that I'm committed to becoming proficient and excel in. And so we have production expectations on both white label partnership roles because that's the nature. You know, we're going to give you more and you're going to contribute more. So my point there is I'm really thankful for white label partners because you're focused, you're committed. Obviously, we're helping at least 8 clients a month on the access to capital side. Those of you that are working on the credit sweep side, at least 10 a month. It's just a more involved relationship. So it's more like we're married instead of dating, if that's an appropriate reference. There's many rewards of marriage. So as a white label partner, what that means in a nutshell is that you'll market under your branding, under your contract with clients, using your agreement. You set the fees, the client fees, and you collect the money from the clients. That's in essence what a white label partner does. You're taking our program and you're going out to the marketplace. Some people say, oh, this is a franchise. Not at all. But let's draw an analogy for a second. One of my neighbors owns several Sonic franchises. And I don't know if Sonic is regional, but Sonic's typically drive-in only where you can buy hamburgers and different fast food. And so it's always interesting to talk to him and compare what you and I do versus what he's done. Now that is a franchise, of course, but when he bought into Sonic franchise as a franchisee the first time, now he owns several, as I mentioned, you know, he had to make a significant financial commitment because what they didn't want is him to take up a given area and then not sell any hamburgers, right? Never open up for business. That wasn't what Sonic wanted. And so in the world of franchises, and frankly, often in licenses, there's a significant investment. Again, as I was speaking to my neighbor and just kind of describing how you and I work together versus what he does with Sonic, he was amazed. Because for him to open a Sonic franchise, he had to go buy land, erect a compliant building, pay a large franchise fee. I mean, he's well over $1 million. And when you look at the P&L of what you should be making, in other words, the profitability that you should be making with no overhead versus his, it's actually better for you. So you and I should be making more money than on a monthly basis than these individuals that are investing $1 million plus to own a Domino's or a Sonic or a McDonald's or other franchises. So it's a remarkable opportunity for us, but it requires you to get engaged, right? So let's talk about monthly goals and income. So on the white label access to capital side, as I mentioned, and you know this, it's in the license agreement that you sign, our explicit goals to assist you in helping at least 8 clients a month. And that's what's required to be compliant. You might say, well, why is that necessary? Well, if you didn't want to be actively involved, don't become a white label partner, just be a referral partner. There are no production goals in the referral partner. But we know for us to reach our potential, we need to work with a group of really committed professionals. And that those are the white label partners, because you and I know the same thing. Let's say that you're a tutor and you tutor chemistry for local high school students that need help. If you just tutored once in a while, do you think that you'd be a really good tutor? Or do you think you'd be a little bit rusty? Do you think it would be natural and you'd be familiar with how to progress through the textbook or the chapters or the problems? Probably not. I mean, that's true with anything. If you just dabble in something, you probably won't be proficient. So our white label partners, again, are not dabblers. They're actively involved. Now, it can be very part-time. I'm not saying it has to be full-time, but our white label partners are helping at least 8 clients a month. And that's not difficult. There's so much need for capital. And we continue to provide training and support to help you do that. But it is important to understand that we need to be helping at least 8 clients a month, because that's, again, one of the key differentiation points. Our white label partners are more involved, more engaged, and of course, have a higher income potential. Now, I guess some of you might say, well, what happens if I can't hit 8? Well, we want to work with you to resolve that, right? This isn't some sort of stick approach to incentivization. It's like, well, if you're not hitting 8, what do we need to do? Because you and I know the sales funnel, right? It starts with leads, and from leads, it goes to conversions, and from conversions, you make money. And so often it's an issue of focus or an issue of leads, which we can help you with. But it is important. I mean, we all know this, that there's no secret that when you came aboard, you said that you would help at least 8 clients a month. And if not, then there's a deposit. Deposit, what's this deposit about? Well, let's go back to the Sonic example. So when my neighbor buys a new Sonic franchise, they have an incentive where they'll waive the franchise fee as long as the restaurant hits certain volume production requirements. And so I guess that's a decent analogy here. We say, don't pay anything for the license fee to be a white label partner. However, there is a license fee, and you all know it, it's in the license agreement. But if you don't get involved and you don't get active, then it's due. So it's very fair, and that's why he's opened so many Sonic franchises, because he likes that. My neighbor we're talking about, likes the opportunity to not have any upfront cost and then be motivated to be productive and be profitable. And that's exactly what we offer each of you. But understand that if you're not active and involved, then you're not compliant with the license agreement, and then the deposit comes due. So depending upon how you want to price, because what we said is a white label partner, you control the pricing. So we can't give you income predictions on how much money you'll make as a white label partner, because you control the pricing. But if you use our standard assumptions, helping 8 clients a month, you collect $2,500 deposit on the front end, so that's upfront to you. And then normally you're charging 10 to 15% performance fee on the back end. Again, you choose what you want the performance fee to be. Then that puts you at around $100,000 a month. That's gross income. Will your white label license partnership have expenses? Of course, every business has expenses. And that's, again, why I love working with white label partners, because they understand business. If you take someone just off the street, they'd say, well, if I make 100,000, so I get to keep 100,000. Well, no. Do you think if you ran a Sonic franchise, again, using that example, you wouldn't have to buy any burgers or buns or fries or pay the young men and young women that's taking the food out? Of course, there's expenses to run a business. That's craziness to think that there's no expenses. But the bottom line is the profit margin here should be extraordinary, but you control it, right? Because you set your salary. If you want to pay yourself $20,000 a month, your profit margin will be less than if you just paid yourself $10,000 a month, but you're in control of that. All right, so we're clear that there are monthly goals, and we've talked about the income perspective, that the goal is we want you to generate at least $100,000 a month in gross income. That should be accomplished if we're just doing 8 clients a month. Certainly you could do more than that. We have one white label partner that today is submitting 6 new clients. 6 new clients. Well, in one day, obviously almost hit the monthly goal. We have another white label partner that held a webinar we did together last Wednesday. We had 49, I think the number is 49 that registered and attended the webinar, brief 15-minute webinar. And he's got commitments for 40, 42, 45 enrollments. And so if you get active and do these things, hitting the 8 is the least of our worries. Now, again, how do you get conversions? We're going to have leads. And we've had separate trainings on this. But again, the goal here is to have a one-pager that kind of drills down to the highlights. So from a lead perspective, because we're not going to have sales if we don't have leads. So some of you you have your own sphere of influence. So leads are the last concern of yours. Others we've talked about on different trainings, but I'm trying to summarize it here. So again, we got to focus on leads. We know that. So many sources of leads. A number of you are buying leads from like RealX Traffic. RealX Traffic will send leads to your landing page. And you know that we now give you a free landing page. We'll come to that in a second. But so there's companies like RealX Traffic for next to nothing. I mean, it's almost free. It's not quite free. They'll just drive leads to your page. So that's an option. We've talked frequently about Jeff. Last year, our record holder, he had over 400 conversions, not leads, conversions in 1 month. And his primary source is RealX Traffic. That's how we learned about it, quite frankly. You can also go to databases like Data, Axle, Genie, used to be called Reference USA, used to be called Sales Genie. And you can query pretty much every business in the country. You can select by location, by size, by industry, by credit, just all kinds of filters that you could use. You can organically generate leads by your own efforts in marketing, and one of which is like Craigslist. We had 2 trainings last week on how to use Craigslist to drive leads in. You can receive referrals from others. So again, let's think again about if you had that Sonic franchise, right? So you spent $1 million plus, and now you're open for business. So you've got the inventory, you've got the building, the big signs out front. Is that enough? Do you just say, okay, I bought the Sonic franchise and that's good enough, I'm going to sit back? Heck no, you're going to be out there promoting. Maybe you go to the local school and give out some coupons to attract attention. Maybe you place an ad in the local newspaper, whatever you might want to do. But the bottom line is you can also generate referrals from others in your community that are dealing with small businesses already. So we call that business to business, right? You can create, and this is one of our favorites, and we had a training on this, create your own affiliate program. So let's take Joseph, who's one of our top white label partners. You know, he's probably doing some combination of these things, but I believe what Joseph has done is he's created an affiliate program where he signs up people who are affiliates, and then they are encouraged and supported to go out and market to the marketplace. They drive leads in through Joseph's white label partnership, and he does a revenue share with them. And so frankly, that can overlap with this bullet as well, but you could have a very explicit affiliate program. We've also talked about leading through financial literacy. We had a couple sessions on that recently where you go out and you teach, whether it be in person or online workshops, and that creates a sales funnel. So again, if we understand our target market for this offering, are small businesses, regardless if they're pre-launch, startup, or existing, that's needing capital to start, grow, or reach their potential. That's nearly every small business in the nation. This is not trying to find a needle in the haystack. Now, is every one of them going to want to enroll? Of course not. But the prospect pool is broad and the value proposition is strong. So we will provide you a free landing page, and this has to do with what we call the hybrid model, which we've had a number of trainings on, and I'll reference it again here in a moment. But through the hybrid model, you get a free landing page and an incredibly easy proposition to make to your prospects. And I don't want to go too deep in that, but in gist, what's the pitch if you're using the hybrid model? Well, we have a free, fully grant subsidized program to help small businesses improve their financial literacy, build a lender compliant loan package, and if needed, help them improve their credibility so they're able to access the capital that they need. So it's a $2,500 program, but it's fully covered by the grant. All we do is ask them to participate. And then also we'll even pay them, we'd say jokingly, to participate, that we guarantee them at least $10,000 of business credit while going through the program. So not only do they participate for free, we're giving them a strong economic incentive to do it. This used to be a college class. Now we offer it through the 501c3. We use award-winning curriculum developed by the FDIC, promoted by the SBA. So I'm not here to reiterate the sales proposition, but it's incredibly strong. I mean, how in the world could you put effort into it and not bring in at least 8 clients monthly with this value proposition and such a large target audience? It's irrational to me to think that any white label partner couldn't be successful. And then, as you know, when the hybrid model, then once they are on board going through the curriculum, then you can pivot them over and help them get their first tranche of financing. We've had separate trainings on that. We've had cases where people were approved for 50, 60, 80, 100,000 of first tranche financing. But frankly, the goal is to get them at least enough to cover the refundable deposit, which is $2,500 that comes up front to you. It's the perfect economic model. Everyone wins. All right, so enough about leads. Compliance training and getting your free landing page for the hybrid model. So we had the compliance training a while back. The link is here. We certainly encourage you to start with it because it reiterates those issues of compliance, but also it wraps up with talking about getting your free landing page. And so if you've not watched this, now I sent this out to each of you yesterday, encouraging you to attend today. So each of you should have this onboarding document. If you'd like, you can also be a white label partner on the 60-day credit suite, which we're going to talk about next. No requirement to do so. And then we have recommended next steps. Well, we certainly want you to have your free landing page, and that happens by becoming a referral partner. So almost all white label partners are also referral partners, but not all referral partners are white label partners. Hopefully that makes sense. Referral partner is free and easy. There's no production expectations. It's what we used to refer to as the affiliate role. But with that, the system generates a unique landing page. And so if you've not done that, I would do that as a first priority. That's why it's number 1 on the list. That's going to allow you to feed people through this hybrid model I made reference, where they're coming in technically as a referral partner, referral from you, on your landing page that'll look just like this. And then while they're going through the 28-day process, you just simply reach out to them and ask them if they're ready to move forward in getting their first tranche of financing. And almost all of them will be. So then you get them under contract with you, your access to capital white label partner agreement, which we've provided you the template for, and then they immediately go to funding, which generates money for you up front. So that's step number one. Step 2 is please go through the white label resource page. This is the epicenter of where information is. the participant guides, the instructor guides, the PowerPoints, the breakdown of what we cover in each module, the YouTube training library where you submit clients, the editable agreement for using with your client. It's here. If you're not familiar with this page, then that's a terrible mistake. I'll make one last analogy to my neighbor that runs the Sonic. You know, when he decided to open a Sonic franchise, and again, he's done multiple, but he had to pay a lot of money, and part of that was just to show his commitment, and then he had to go through very rigid training to become knowledgeable in what he needs to do as an owner to operate. Well, we don't charge anything up front. We say you'll be a white label partner for free. We'll waive the license fee if you'll just come in and be minimally active. And we don't require, we used to, we don't require you to fly into our corporate office to do training and miss work and miss your family over several days. Now everything's available online, supplemented with one-on-one, as well as these daily trainings. So this is a superior model that allows you to make a lot of money, help a lot of people with minimal inconvenience. And then we do recommend an onboarding call with each of our white label partners. And this is my Calendly link for that. So this here is just reiterating what the hybrid model is that I made reference to earlier. I think we've already described that. For support, again, what do we do to support our white label partners? Well, number one, we have the onboarding call. Number two, we have these daily trainings nearly every weekday. And then just send us a text. If there's a question or a comment or concern, text us at this number. And if you're just looking for a simple response, we'll text you back the answer. But let's say that you just really need to talk. You got a question or concern, just let us know. That's what Joseph does all the time. When he's got a question or a concern, he'll text and say, call me when you get a chance. And then we'll quickly give you a call back. Now you can always schedule, of course, and that'll give us more time together. But sometimes we don't want to wait. We just need to get a more immediate response. And this is how we do that. And of course, we have these daily Zoom trainings like we're on right now. So who has any questions, comments, concerns on what we'll call the access to capital white label partnership role? So it's great that if you have decided to become a white label partner. It's a wonderful opportunity to help people and to generate a great income. There are expectations. If you feel that you did enroll as a white label partner and you don't want to continue that role, let us know and we can work on transitioning you over to the referral partner role. That doesn't suddenly just make our license agreement null and void. So we'll have to make an arrangement to close out that license agreement and move you over to the referral partner only. But if you feel that this is not the right role for you, that's okay. If it is the right role, then let's do everything that we can to be successful, because your economic success, our clients' economic success. We need to go out there and we need to be active and we need to do what we say that we'll do. We need to help at least 8 clients a month to make a significant dent in this huge opportunity. Any questions on the access to capital white label partner onboarding? Okay, pop them into the Q&A if you do. Let's switch over and have the same discussion on the 60-day credit sweep. There'll be some similarities, but it's different. So on the 60-day credit sweep, what we're focused on is helping individuals, whether they be business owners or not, improve their credibility on paper by improving their personal credit. I'm not here to give you a complete review of the 60-day credit sweep. You can do that on your own, but it's a legal, effective, and very powerful way to quickly help people become more credible on paper. Just as before, as a white label partner, what does that mean? It means you're going out to the marketplace with your branding, not our branding. You're going to contract with your clients using your agreement. And again, we've provided you the template. You're going to set your own fees. It's up to you how much you want to charge, and thus that'll determine how much you make on it. And you collect the enrollment fee from your clients. One of the significant differences, though, of the 60-day credit sweep is that instead of having an online resource page like we talked about here, what we do with the 60-day credit sweep white label partners, and we'll talk more about it in a moment, is we set up a Dropbox and we put all of your files in your Dropbox. So once you come aboard, we send you an onboarding email, and then we also immediately set up your Dropbox and populate it. So there's a difference in how the process works, but the bottom line is, as a white label partner, it's under your branding, your umbrella, your pricing. So again, as white label partners, love working with white label partners because these are folks that are committed, they're focused. And so our white label partners on the 60-day credit sweep, they're wanting to help at least 10 clients a month. And we can help them do that. There's just no shortage. One of the projects I was working on this morning with Joseph and a couple of others is, did you know that everyone that files bankruptcy, that's public record? You could just simply track bankruptcies in your county, for example, or anywhere in the country, and reach out to them once they have their discharge. They are great prospects for the 60-day credit sweep. All right, so as far as income, again, we can't make income projections because you're controlling the pricing. But depending upon how much you're wanting to mark it up, a lot of you are marking up the 60-day credit sweep by $1,000. And so then 10 times 1,000, of course, is 10,000. Of course, this can dovetail into the access to capital because we know some of these folks will have credit issues. So that's why many of you are wearing both hats. So you're able to generate income from both sides. All right, so what are the setup steps on this side? Again, we're on the 60-day credit sweep white label partnership. What are the setup steps? Well, first thing is you want to watch the singular training. And then, and again, when you become a white label partner, we're sending an onboarding email that reiterates this. It's not like you have to memorize this. And then, as I mentioned a moment ago, we're going to set up a Dropbox for you. You'll get a Dropbox invitation. It's important for two reasons. You'll have the editable version of the client agreement that you're going to use. You have a marketing flyer. And then this is also where you're going to be uploading your client's files. And so for us to implement a client on the 60-day credit sweep, we only need three things: their completed agreement, their proof of identity, which is usually a driver's license or a passport, and proof of address, which is usually a recent utility bill. That's it. Unlike, if we were to talk about a significant difference, the implementation of the credit sweep is essentially non-existent as far as a responsibility for you. So once you refer someone in, there's really nothing else you need to do on the credit sweep. The white label partnership, there's more involvement, of course. But client processing is where we're at. So as you enroll each client, as mentioned above, you'll get them under contract and upload their documents into Dropbox. That's what we talked about on number 2. We're notified each time you upload someone in Dropbox. We're going to then send you an invoice, because you wouldn't want to upload someone in Dropbox until you have contracted with them. That's one of the 3 items you upload, and they paid you, right? So in other words, you've sold the hamburger, and so then you need the inventory to backfill that in. And so what will happen is we'll send you an invoice via QuickBooks for each new client you upload. You pay us the $6.49 via wire or whatever we agree upon. Wire is normal, and then anything above that is your profit. So it's pretty simple to calculate profit, right? Anything above this is your profit. A lot of you are selling the credit sweep for $1,999. It varies, but with that being said, at $19.99, you're making right at what, about $1,300 profit per unit. But you control that. That's up to you. You could sell it at cost and just break even if you want. Support, again, same model. We have these daily Zooms. We have the ability to text and get a call back or respond text. And so the support works kind of hand in hand, because so many of you are both credit sweep white label partners as well as access to capital. All right, so who has questions on either of these topics? Our goal today was to introduce you to the new one-page onboarding documents. We have one for white label partners on the access to capital side, and we have one on the 60-day credit sweep side. You could be a white label partner in one program and not the other, or in both. You could be neither. You could just be a referral partner and not be a white label partner. You won't have the ability to go to market under your own branding. You won't control pricing. Thus, you'll make more money. You should make more money as a white label partner. In both roles, though, this is not a dabbling role, right? When you become a white label partner, just like buying a Sonic franchise, you can't say, oh, I want to own a Sonic franchise, but I'm not going to be open. I'm not going to help any clients. I'm not going to sell any hamburgers or shakes. That doesn't work. So all we ask is, if you're going to be a white label partner, then be minimally active. So that way you're proficient. 8 a month on the access to capital side, 10 a month on the 60-day credit sweep side. By doing that, you're meeting that element of being compliant with the agreement. If you're having trouble reaching those numbers, let us know. We'll work with you. Can you just quit? No, you can't just go buy a Sonic franchise. Here's a better example. Elon Musk made a large offer to buy Twitter, right? I know it's different, but let's just use this analogy. And he has decided, as of today's recording, he doesn't want to buy Twitter anymore. So he owes $1 billion, literally $1 billion with a B, to exit that agreement. So he can't, you and I understand that. Some people don't. Agreements are written as such that everything should be in writing and agreed upon. So some people that are less financially literate think, oh, I signed that agreement, but never mind. Well, that's what Elon Musk is trying to do. Oh, never mind. And now he literally owes $1 billion for saying never mind. Of course, to exit out of a white label partnership is nothing of that magnitude, but there are expectations that are made by both parties. All right, so Veronica's got a question. She's going the hybrid way, which we strongly encourage. You don't have to approach it the hybrid way. We got Bernard and others on here that do not follow the hybrid model typically. But the hybrid model, again, we've had other training. If you're not familiar with what exactly that means, that is on this link. And again, I sent all of you this yesterday. So it is okay to bring them into the hybrid model, and then we can go to funding immediately thereafter. Best practice. Let's talk about best practice. If you were to ask me what the best practice is as far as the timing, Veronica, I would do this. I would bring them in the hybrid model, which means you're feeding them in on the referral partner page that we provide you free. And then if I were you, I would wait until 2 weeks to move them into first tranche financing, to move them into your white label access to capital. Why 2 weeks, you might ask? And you don't have to do it this way. I'm just telling you best practice. Well, now they've seen positive movement and they're seeing results. We're working on their business plan. They've learned a lot about financial literacy already. We're helping them build out their business credit profile. They're just seeing so much results. But we've also, during week 2, module 2, done the soft credit poll. So we see if where credit lies. That can be a great trigger to get them on the 60-day credit sweep. So again, that's where you can see the spillover, because people are coming through the access to capital. A good number of them might have an opportunity to improve their credibility by going through the 60-day credit sweep. In short, Veronica's question is the timing, and that's fine. At any point, you can move them on to the next step. And you're getting them under your agreement, whether it be the white label access to capital agreement, which the template is located here, or if you're a 60-day credit sweep and getting them enrolled in that, you're going to find the editable template to use in the Dropbox that we set up for you. Okay, so who has questions, comments, concerns as we wrap it up on our discussion today of onboarding? We are here to support you. We will do all that we can to support you, but you have to be engaged. You need to be compliant. If you're not compliant, we either need to get you back compliant, or you need to consider exiting out of the white label role, because you can't You can't go buy that Sonic franchise and decide, well, I really only want to be open on Tuesdays and Thursdays, right? That's not consistent with the way that the business model works. Here, you can work on a very part-time basis, so that was not a good analogy, but that doesn't mean that we don't need to be active. We made the commitment to you. We waived the upfront license fee with the understanding that each of you would be active, and active is defined in the agreement, and it's just not unreasonable. We can help you do that. There's a tremendous, there's almost a never-ending source of leads from those small businesses that want to need capital, or people that have jacked up credit. There's just no shortage of leads. Our target market is immensely large. We don't have any direct competitors because of our pricing and our model. So you're in the right place at the right time. Anyone have any questions, comments, or concerns that I can help you with before we exit today? All right. Well, thank you all. We'll see you back tomorrow morning. Have a good day. Bye-bye.